Welcome back, guys. My name is Demitry Sebastian.
And I'm Wes Kendall.
And we are back in session where your fitness and lifestyle questions are answered and bro science is put to the test. So we actually have a great topic today because the second we showed it to Elias, he was just like, what the hell does this mean? Mm-hmm. And he's like, he asked what our first point was.
Yes.
We're talking about building your metabolism. Whether or not that's possible is the first one we're going to talk about because he read the topic. He's just like, what does that mean? What? Well, like, how do you build your metabolism? All you do is lose your metabolism as you get old. That's what people usually think.
And that's what happens to most people. It's you actually have to be proactive about building it, or else it won't happen.
I already don't want to do it.
Well, some people say your metabolism is like a muscle, which I wouldn't say so. It's a little bit more like I would consider it a bonfire. That's what it is. So, yeah, it's like, and you gain momentum with it as you go. So a lot of people who end up getting fatter as they get older by decreasing their activity, by eating less of like the thermogenic type foods, or who are changing their lifestyle from like being active to non-active. Those people are slowing their bonfire or like throwing less wood on the fire.
Well, I like the bonfire idea. It obviously gets a little bit more complicated, but to make it more clear, skinny people have a hot fire that's just like you're constantly throwing wood. You have to keep throwing it in there. You're like, wow, like we are burning through this dry wood really quick.
Exactly.
Whereas someone who has a bad metabolism, who is larger or older, they're more of like, it's still a bonfire, but it's mostly coals. We're talking like we have
smoldering.
Like the thick logs that like they're burning.
Right.
But like you got plenty of time. Like you don't need to throw another log on there.
Yeah, and it's like that's why appetite decreases and things like food choice, nutrition timing, things like that plays roles as well, as far as like how fast it burns. Like everyone knows the friend who can't gain weight at all no matter what they eat. And
yes, sir. Why are you looking at me? Okay, so specifically, Wes.
Yes.
I weigh probably 130 pounds, right?
Right.
Optimistically.
Fuck you. How would I gain weight?
Well, your metabolism is already a raging bonfire. So, like, if anything, we would have to throw in foods that are harder to digest for you. Well, so it's like that take longer. Yes.
Let's actually get right into that. So we'll talk about the wood. What kind of wood do we need to be throwing into the fire? So he obviously the easy answer is eat more.
Right.
Which is an answer, but it's not usually a great answer. So like we can talk about what type of foods it is. So do you want to break that into for our thin kings and our thick kings?
Yeah, if you're trying to be a thick boy summer and you trying to gain some weight, get a little bit bigger.
I saw that post you did. Are we switching? We're no longer doing hot boy summer. We're doing thick boy summer. Have we committed?
I'm committing to thick boy summer.
I'm there. I'm there for thick boy summer.
Yes, so that's my goal is thick boy summer.
As long as we double down on the crop tops.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we
still got to get the crop tops.
The Rock made it popular with the short shorts, and now we just got to add the crop tops. And
you're there.
Yeah.
So we'll start with what we'll say, Celeste. If you were going to say these are the types of foods that he needs to eat moving forward, just in a broad sense, where would you go?
Well, this is what people mess up in is they say I need to eat more calories and I need to eat more, so they go straight to like a burger.
Yeah.
And that is a blast of calories, but it takes forever to digest that burger. It just sits in your stomach, and then you can't eat for like 4 or 5 hours after that, because it's like, even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And people with a fast metabolism, what they need to do is feed them easily digested foods at the beginning of the day that they can get through quickly and easily without filling up their stomach. And you can even resort to like powders, shakes, and like liquid calories as well to help. And then later, as the day goes on, after you already reach your protein intake, then you add in those fattier foods like nuts, oils, red meats, fattier meats, things like that are going to slow down and stay in your stomach while you're sleeping, so you can actually have that fuel.
So early in the day would be carb heavy.
Carb heavy, you want your obviously minimum protein intake met. That's always in there, but you want simple digestible carbs. So you don't want to be eating a bunch of like oats and oatmeal and like fibrous things like sweet potatoes. That's just going to slow you down actually. So what you need instead is like simpler carbs like cream of rice, cereal, bread, things like that aren't going to slow you down, easily digestible, and you can eat high quantities of.
Because the few people I know that have gone from really, really thin to quite large in a good way, is they would be the type of people who'd be like 4 servings of pasta.
Right. That's a good example.
And that was like, obviously that was in high school too, where they had extra metabolism going on. That might not be the correct solution for you. So, your mileage may vary, but he would eat like 4 servings of pasta like every single day.
Right.
And he would have, at the end of the day, he would have like 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because he was just burning at such a high level. He was working out. He was doing 2 a days. And now he's like pretty fucking big. Like he's like, he's built now. And it was because he's trained his metabolism because he doesn't have to do that anymore. It's not, he still has to eat a lot, but it's not to the point where it's just like, he would literally just sit there, he'd look at me and be like, I am sick of eating. He's like, I am disgusted. It's the same way that when people are trying to lose weight, they just look at you like, I am sick of not eating. It's funny to see it on the flip side.
Right, and a lot of it's hormonal. Like if you have more of the leptin or ghrelin hormone, which is your hunger or satiety hormone, then that influences how hungry you just sit naturally.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people who have trouble gaining weight, they naturally produce less of the hunger stimulating hormones. And what that's going to do is make it like, oh, I can't believe I have to eat again. So what we have to do is pick like very simple carbs, like you said, like the pasta, the cereal, things like that, but not add in the fats until later, because just like what your friend said, he was eating the peanut butter and jelly at night, which has higher fat, and that's going to sit in his stomach at the end while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of nailed it right with that, with picking the right foods, and then making sure that it's foods that you can eat frequently and often, and tolerate it, and B, digest and clear so you can eat again.
Okay,
That's
so
what it is.
then we're looking to our thick kings.
Yes.
If we wanted to get someone who is, we'll go and say like historically larger.
Okay.
Because I think it's a little bit different when you go from like, you were from thin stock and then you just like threw it all away and got fat.
Right.
Different conversation. I'm talking about people who have historically always been large.
Yeah, well, those people, I would say, for the most part, again, it's influenced by their hormones that they, have that hunger feeling. They're never full. They always want to eat, and they're like favoring those foods. And you just kind of have to fight that by feeding yourselves more bulk foods, but with less calories.
Okay.
So it's like you are eating more often, and you're eating like more fibrous veggies. That's where you're throwing in like the sweet potatoes or the oatmeal or the broccoli with your meal, so that it's like that kind of takes up space in your stomach, so that you're not like, oh my god, I need to eat more, and you continue to eat burgers and burgers.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the opposite tactic basically. Instead of eating easily digestible foods, you're eating more like filler foods. Yep.
So instead of saying, because for skinny people, it's okay, we're throwing dry wood. It's you want to get a lot of that fiber in that is not going to help you gain weight. It's going to be, okay, so we'll say 2,000. We'll say you need to be only eating 2,000 a day.
Right.
Okay, there's a quick way to do that.
Yeah.
And there's a slow way to do that. And a good way to do that is when you like, because like, we've talked about, we don't really track greens.
Right.
Unless you throw cheese on them. The
cooking butter.
The butter too. We talked about this last time. I will let you put mayonnaise on your sandwich. Butter is not a sauce. But
If you cook cheese and broccoli.
Yeah, exactly. It's just cheese.
Some broccoli with that cheese?
No, I don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to pack in the spinach. We're going to pack in like, the greens, so that that gives you something to sit on. Like one of the things at restaurants I like to do, especially, is if they have like, if it's a sandwich place, if they do like a sandwich and half salad, like I don't really want the salad.
Right.
I really don't.
Of course.
But I usually feel great after I eat though, because I'm feeling full, but I'm not feeling weighed down.
Yeah.
And that's
true.
that if you take that strategy with every single meal you'd be doing otherwise, make it half a salad, then you
have your greens. You can eat it first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much better your dieting goes. Because that's the thing too, is a lot of people go into a deficit.
Yeah.
And none of us eat enough vegetables.
It's fair.
I would say even some vegetarians don't eat enough vegetables.
We've been having cucumber sandwiches lately.
Yeah, we're cucumber sandwich. We're high society now.
Oh, fancy.
We got like the cream cheese and cucumber sandwiches. That's what we do. I have it like before, like an hour before a run.
Okay.
And then I still feel like garbage, but but yeah, it's super nice. You get like a little bit of fiber in there. It's the vegetables are annoying. I get it. We all buy a bag of spinach and we let it rot.
Oh, you take like one scoop out of there, and then it sits in the fridge till you forget about it.
If you can make it so that you like actually eat it, it's a complete game changer. Because like I was saying, go into the deficit, you start eating less, and then you're just sitting there all the time being like when's my next meal? When's my next meal? And I would say to people like celery sticks.
Or pickles. Pickles have 0 calories.
Dude, I crush pickles when I'm on like a severe cut. It's just like that's like all I do all day. It's like back and forth in the kitchen all day eating pickles.
Yep.
And I mean, like I'm sure my sodium's out of control, but
Well,
still,
you actually need more sodium if you're cutting carbs. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. So, okay, so we're eating the right things.
let me give a little overview on it real quick,
Yeah.
just to recap. So if you're either way, if you're the skinny guy trying to gain or the bigger guy trying to lose, you're still trying to build the metabolism. You're still trying to build and eat multiple meals a day, not just like it's hard to do it on these people who only eat like 1 or 2 meals a day. It's very difficult because it's like your window is so small, and it's like the fire goes to a smolder and then to a fire again, back and forth.
Yeah.
The consistency of multiple meals a day does help. And another part of it is like, if you say you're the bigger guy trying to lose but still build a metabolism, if you go and stick this process out long enough, eventually you're going to turn into the skinny guy who needs to eat more often.
Yeah.
Like you'll build it so fast that it's like, man, if I don't continue to eat like this, I'll actually lose weight.
Another thing I think people get tied up in is a lot of really buff guys are eating nonstop, and then you have like the fat guys like, I'm also eating nonstop. He's eating 10 times more than me, but how is he smaller? It's like, it's not necessarily so much about he's outworking his diet, because that's you can't outrun a bad diet,
Right.
frankly. However, they're eating whole foods, low fat stuff. Basically, it's like we all knew that guy back in like high school that walked around with like a Ziploc bag full of steak, and it was
Eating a steak in math class.
It's very it was gross. Yeah. The problem with that is that you are not doing that. You're crushing a 12 taco pack on a Sunday because you drank too much the night before.
Yeah, different in food choices. You're right. It's picking the protein, and that's another thing I need to mention is like if you eat protein, 80% of that only gets used as calories and fuel. 20% of it gets burned off as heat in your metabolism. So it's like eating that's why I always say like overeating on protein is good for dieting, because you actually don't use all those calories for fuel. It increases your temperature and thus also increasing your metabolism.
So, like I said, with you can't outrun the calories.
Yes.
When you're trying to build your metabolism, and say your mind is clicked, you understand it, you're going to the gym a lot, you're running a lot, there surprisingly is such thing as too much cardio.
Yes.
And it can mess up your metabolism further.
Yeah. It's true, especially if you're doing like very long cardio sessions, or you're doing too much HIIT cardio. What you can do is you can put yourself in too much of a deficit where you actually like your body gets into conservation mode and starts to slow down. It's like, I don't have enough wood to throw in this fire later, and I can't let it go out because then I'll starve. So it's like what you do is it just starts to get smaller and smaller, and instead of you burning more calories outside of your workout and outside of your outside of your cardio, you actually like decrease your daily motion, your daily heat expenditure, and your like motivation to like fidget around and move and just burn calories at rest.
I love that you mentioned the deficit fat hold.
Yeah.
Because so many people love to say that. They're like, yeah, I mean, I've done the calorie cut, but I'm not losing weight. I think it's because I'm at too much of a deficit. Now my body's holding on to the fat.
Yeah.
Liar. You're a liar. You don't think you're lying, but you're lying. Because you're right. The only people who get that are like, you are like deep into like your body is stressed. It's not you are not a camel.
Yes.
Your body isn't like storing these things. Like your body's not that smart.
Right.
It's like it's an algorithm. And the only time that it goes into disaster mode like that is when you're hitting it so hard that your body's like, we are clearly in a war zone, and we need to make this last. Like that means that's when you're like in fight or flight. Cool, we're no longer going to focus on the immune system. We're going to focus on the muscles. We're no longer going to focus on the reproductive organs. We're going to focus on the brain and muscles.
Yeah.
So that's when you go into a situation where your body starts doing dumb things to conserve energy. You not eating a bit and feeling a little stressed out about that is not that situation.
Yeah, most Americans don't have that problem unless you're doing like hour plus cardio every day, plus restricting food and lifting. If you're doing all that, you can overdo it. You could definitely go into starvation mode. The most time that people do that is actually when they cut calories too quickly. They'll read online, oh, to lose weight I need to eat 1,200 calories, and they were previously eating 2,000. They immediately jump to 1,200 calories, and then they get 2-3 weeks of progress, and then they go into starvation mode.
Yeah.
That's very common.
Which is drastic, and you shouldn't do that in the first place.
Yeah.
1,200 is ridiculous. I think 1,500 is the lowest one I've ever heard them willing to accept.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at with everything. Like, if you only weigh like 115 pounds as a female, and it's like maybe you don't need 2,000 calories right now. But what this is all about in building your metabolism is not needing to diet on poverty calories and actually building up some momentum so that you can lose weight while eating more, because that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Trying to eat the right foods at the right time and, execute proper exercise and cardio to the point where you require more fuel, but also get leaner and stronger.
Now, obviously, cardio and weight training are different.
Yes.
But they burn calories in very similar ways. How much is too much working out that's going to screw up that metabolism you're trying to build?
Well, to the point where if you were working out to the point where you can't continue to make progress, so it's like team no days off. You can't be doing that because you have to recover from your workouts. If you aren't able to make progress and progressively with strength and volume, then you're not building your metabolism anymore. You're stagnant. So it's like what you need to do is, I would say, if you're trying to build, then, or even if you're trying to cut, you shouldn't do more than 5 or 6 workouts a week. And then for cardio, you shouldn't be doing more than like 50 minutes of cardio a day. And even that might even be too much for some people. So I would say those are probably pretty good left and right limits for that.
Okay. And then you mentioned before going from regular eating to straight down to 1,200.
Yeah.
What is the correct way? Like, what is the correct way to walk back your calories so that you don't end up in the situation where either you're falling off the wagon or you're going such a cut that your metabolism flips out?
So what I'd say is, like, if you eat your maintenance calories and add your cardio and workout on top of that, and that puts you in the deficit. So if you're eating enough calories to maintain your weight without your workout and cardio, then you're already at your maintenance, right? Now you add energy expenditure on top of that, there's your deficit. So that's where you start. And then from there, if you do it right with the nutrient timing and you're getting muscle added on and you're making progress and getting stronger, then you're gonna actually have to feed yourself more, and that's where you start building your metabolism.
Okay.
But say you don't do that, that's where people start lowering the calories and adding work. So their deficits here and their food comes down even more. So it's like the gap widens.
Okay.
That's where you run into trouble.
Can you screw things up in the opposite direction? Like, I'm trying to gain weight. Can I eat way too much all at once and that cause a problem?
Yes. So you definitely can. Like, for example, this year I started working with my coach on building my metabolism, and I was eating my maintenance calories and then working out, doing cardio on top, and I started losing weight, at a good pace. And then I kind of hit a wall. Like, I lost like 10, 12 pounds, and that was it. We stopped moving. And instead, what most people do is they're like, okay, well, instead, let's cut some more calories. No, that's not what we did. I added a little bit more fats, and I added a little bit more carbs. Like, I'm talking maybe 200-300 calories max.
Sure.
Of total, not each. So I went, that's like, what, like 40 grams of carbs,
Yeah.
and a little bit of fat too. So that's not a ton.
Yeah.
It's like not like I added, scoops of rice or anything to my meal. And over time, we've continued to make that 200 or 300 calorie jump every 3-4 weeks. And my weight has continued to drop, and I've gained a little bit of muscle while doing it.
So you've almost created you've created the ever rare lean bulk.
Yes.
Where you actually can lose weight, gain muscle, but the only way to do that is in a really slow, step-by-step fashion. It's incredibly deliberate.
Yes.
Which I think is the problem.
Yeah, I'm actually curious now because I do have a friend who, quote unquote, like dirty bulks.
Yes.
And
He doesn't quote it, he probably just does. We all do.
Yeah.
he'll just like sit down and eat a whole pizza before his workout.
Same.
Nice. Sounds like fun.
I like whatever program he's on.
Yeah.
But like, how do you feel about that?
I think that some people, when you're in have such an extreme metabolism that they've already maxed out the volume of food that they can eat from like multiple meals, from eating like the simply digesting foods and eating like the high protein, and a lot of people get away with their last meal of the day just a straight calorie bomb. And like this is the person like who's already eating 6 times a day and already eating like a giant pieces of protein and already eating cups of rice and stuff like that, and then they're still they finally hit another wall where they can't push past where they're at, then what they do is they have like their big calorie bomb, either, you know, like, I don't think before the workout is a good idea because it's hard to work out hard after a whole pizza. But I'd say,
I'm not sure if he did it before the workout, but like
probably I would say
he ate a whole pizza.
I would say either post workout or before bed, you have that giant calorie blast just to kind of finish it off.
I would say that stuff like that makes more sense for powerlifters. It makes sense because like a lot of times you're going, you know, strong and pretty. Like
Right.
you're just, it doesn't matter how fat you get. It becomes more about how much can you move.
Right.
The other problem with that is if you are the type of person that could do that, you're probably either like young or you're really like trained insane. And but then what most people fall into, I feel like, is this is where the dad bod has gotten on the rise.
Right.
And first of all, whoever somehow convinced
Stand dad bod.
we do stand dad bods, and I'm glad you said that because whoever does the marketing for dad bods has done a great job, because for a long time it was like dad bod was like, oh, he's got a dad bod. Now it's just like girls be like, I prefer a dad bod. I think it's just nice.
I think they're lying.
I don't think they are. I don't actually think they are at all, because to have a guy with a six pack, either he has it naturally, which then it's just fine, or they're in the gym for like a couple hours every day. They're not eating the fun foods. Like, so girls like a guy who's like strong, can like protect them, can lift things, do guy things.
Yeah.
And they go and eat pizza with them and have fun. So that's where the dad bod comes into play. I think that's why the dad bod has become more accepted, because it's almost like the lifestyle.
Well,
It's I'm going to air quotes on lifestyle. Let me be clear. It's the lifestyle bod. It's like, oh, like broad shoulders and a bit of a tummy.
well, I would say that yes, girls don't want a frail guy for the most part, because they, you know.
Fuck you.
I mean, no,
You're not frail.
I'm not attacking.
You're wiry.
Yes, so they don't want like, you know, I think they don't prefer that, or at least some of them don't. And then, you know, they're looking for, you know, something more bulky that, you know, big arms, broad shoulders.
Yeah.
But I think another part of that, and this is a completely different topic, we should just do a podcast on this.
Yeah, the dad bod.
We should do. I think it's safer. You know, they don't have the pressure of, damn, he's got a six pack now. I also have to be in shape.
I've seen that meme.
Yeah.
It's literally just like guy who has six pack. It's like at the gym, ignores you, doesn't eat fun foods. Guys with dad bods. It's like strong, cuddly. You don't need to have a six pack.
Yeah.
And you know what? If my girlfriend got a six pack, guess what? I'd be very stressed out about
Right.
like.
I would probably go in the reverse,
It
too.
goes both ways. Like
Exactly.
if Taylor rolls up and she's like, "Cool, I'm gonna be. I just heard about the wellness division opened up, and I'm gonna do that," and be like, "No,
Right.
no, that means I have to be on pace with you now."
Exactly. That's what it is. So it's like, it's easier, it's safer, it's more convenient.
It's nice. It's comfortable. It's the dad bod, but the calorie bomb thing is what a lot of people. So like I think that's the definition of weekends too. Not even just the end of the day. It's like everyone's like, I eat kale smoothies and drink water and put lemon in my water, and I'm a wonderful angel baby. And then you get to your weekend and it's just like, cool, I'm gonna drink 80 natter days and I'm going to eat wings for the next 48 hours.
I mean, that's basically my diet right there. You just kind of.
I mean, you apparently found a way to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, but for real talk, my coach has me eating very strict Monday through Friday, and on the weekend, he's like, we've included treat meals because I was losing weight too quickly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's been working, and as long as I don't turn it into like pizza every meal and, you know, a whole case of Natty Light, then it seems to work all right.
Hey, I mean, your mileage may vary as
Yes.
always. So.
Yeah.
We'll just keep moving. I think we got stuck on the dad bod for a while. Yeah. We could talk about the dad bod for a long time.
We should just do a whole podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to talk about the psychology of the dad bod. So we'll assume that you've done everything right.
Yeah.
You've fixed your metabolism, air quotes fixed.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be big, you can now do big guy metabolism. If you want to be small, you can do small guy metabolism. Mm-hmm. How easy is that to screw up, and what do you do to not screw that up?
Yeah. Well, if you stop eating your meals, then you're going to lose it. It's like you'll lose that momentum. So, and if you stop lifting, you'll also lose that momentum. So it's like the metabolism momentum is gained of two things. One, eating high protein, high carbs, low fat. because you're going to, keep the burn going. Fat slows down your digestion, makes it harder for you to eat more of those meals. And then 2, if you're not lifting to get stronger, then you're not adding any reason to keep the momentum going. So it's like you have to keep resistance training. And that's one of the biggest things is a lot of times with these diets, if you're doing it right, on your non-training days, you're actually eating less than your training days, even on a bulk. So that's because you create more of a demand on those days.
Well, it's always how people make the statements. They're like, why do you still go to the gym? You already won. It's like, well, because your body has an equilibrium. Like, you're born with an equilibrium. Like, some people are, again, I've said it before, like, there's skinny type people and there's fat type people. That doesn't mean you can't change, but your body, if given the opportunity, will return to its resting state. So it's like, if you were born a twig and you became a monster, if you stop doing monster activities, your body's gonna be like, oh cool, we're done with that, thank God.
It doesn't want to keep that up. It's hard, it's stressful.
So you got to understand that your body is like a piece of rubber, and by doing your actions, you're holding it into a position, and if you hold it there long enough, it'll really sort of like, I can look over a second, it's staying. It's staying. But if you stop doing it entirely, it's gonna slow. It might not go all the way back to its original position. But you're gonna drift back to where it was originally.
Very good point.
And I think that's the same with eating. That's the same with working out. And it's, that's where a lot of people, it's like they have kids and then they like fall apart, or they get a new job and they fall apart because it's like they are no longer on their program that they were on before.
I completely agree. That's a huge point. It's like if you stop lifting and training like that, that happens to everyone who gets out of the army. So it happened to me.
I was talking to him about that last night. I was just like, look at me, look at you. If you get to my size, like, you're wrong.
It's like you change the lifestyle. If you change the lifestyle and you change the daily habits, then you lose that momentum. It's like basically what you're doing, if you're building your metabolism to 4,000 calories a day, your body doesn't want to do that. It's like you kind of have to force it, and you have to keep eating those meals and keep lifting like that.
It will keep eating the 4,000 calories. That's the joke. That's the joke of the situation. It's like we're telling you, your body doesn't want to do these things. Your body does want to eat the 4,000 calories. So it's like the air quotes potential bad habits are the ones that your body's like, no, we're good with this.
Well, the 4,000 calories of good calories is of good foods. I mean, like a lot of people that are bulking, who are naturally skinny, they have to eat 4,000 calories to maintain the muscle that they've added. Now, if they stop doing that, it is.
He's a great example of somebody who you said doesn't have that like chemical in them that makes them want to eat more. It's hilarious. So like eat like half a. We went to Cafe Rio.
He literally makes me drink a protein shake.
I do. Like, how like with little kids they do they give them Ensure. When your kid's underweight. I do that to him with like muscle milk.
Like here,
no, literally, I'll walk up to him. I go to the fridge, I grab it, I walk it over to him, and I'm like, drink it. And he like chugs it really fast, and I'm like, give it to me. Okay.
Oh man.
He's gonna be strong boy.
What you would have
to be strong boy.
What you would have to do is you'd have to create the need to add muscle in the gym, and then from there slowly ramp up the calories. And you'd probably have to be uncomfortably full for periods of time until it got more useful.
I'll have you know that last week he said, I should go to the gym with you. And I'm like, wow, we're like 3 steps away from actually going now. Whereas before we were like, it didn't.
Not yet.
But like I said, you went from absolutely not to I should. And we call that progress.
Oh yeah. Very true.
I am all about compromises. So the final point we wanted to talk about on this, which is I didn't think of this at all. It never struck me. And then as soon as you said it, it was immediately clear to me. So we're in college. We're working out every day. We're eating a whole bunch. We're snorting hydroxycut and we're mashing Adderall into our tear ducts.
Yes.
So that we can pay attention and do homework. And it's like I'm not abusing drugs.
I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem. You have a problem. When you finally get out of the situation where you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna actually like take responsibility for my life, like slow down my drinking, not do stimulants. It is interesting to think that those stimulants, those fat burners, especially, so we even get off the joke of like you're addicted to Adderall. Back when hydroxycut was good, a lot of people, if they stopped taking the hydroxycut, it was like they would just pack it right back on.
Right. Yeah, it was creating like a unnecessary, I guess not unnecessary, an artificial caloric expenditure. And it was also creating like a higher demand for calories that once you lose that stimulant, then it goes away. It's like you and I've seen it in my body scans. Like my body fat will drop, my muscle mass will go up a little bit, and I'm eating more, and I'm not putting it in fat. And then I stop my stimulants, and then all of a sudden it's like my body fat starts creeping up, hunger level starts coming down, and it's like the exact opposite of what you want. So it's an artificial boost. That
is one of the interesting things. It's like because stimulants make you warmer, and that is like you don't feel it. You might feel it a little bit, but those degrees of warmth, if you live in a hotter place, you burn more calories than like if you were in like a comfortably cool room. Like if you're out working in a yard, it's 100 degrees versus if it was like nice 70, you're gonna be hotter.
I don't know if the science supports that.
I think it does. How does? No, I'm willing to have this. I'm gonna die on this hill.
Okay.
Because that's how the fat burners work. They raise your core temperature.
Why do they raise your core temperature?
To burn more calories.
No, they raise it because it increases your heart rate and it increases your metabolic rate through burning calories. Where if you are outside in the heat, your temperature goes up because of radiation from the sun.
And you're telling me the radiation doesn't help?
It doesn't increase your heart rate. If anything, cold makes you burn more calories because you tighten your muscles and you make micro shivers.
I want you to know right now I'm going to accept this, but I resent you for it. I'm going to walk away from this. Where's your stance? You're going to be the one who calls it.
Oh, Wes is definitely right. I was just going to bring up the silver bullet.
Oh, I told someone about the silver bullet this weekend.
What?
Silver bullet. If you overheat in the Army...
Oh, right up the butt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Slash. Good transition. Demitry was wrong. Let's talk about up the butt. I mentioned silver bullet to somebody. He saw it on TikTok, and then I mentioned it in front of a doctor, and she's like, "That's not real." I'm like, "It is real.
I've seen it."
I was outside smoking a cigarette. I came inside. Yeah. I was like, Demitry, is the silver bullet?
And it was weird. I'm literally like about to go to bed. I'm like in my underwear, and I'm like standing there. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what? I'm like, what do you mean, is it real? He's like, some guy said that he was a combat medic and he did it to like 80 people. I'm like, that's probably a low number if he was in for long enough.
Yeah, right? I know a guy who got 2 silver bullets.
Why?
Because he went down on a ruck march during Best Warrior competition.
Because he was so worried about burning calories from the radiation from the sun. And then the guy was like, oh, he's trying to lose weight. We got to give him cold.
Well, he was in his core temperature was like dangerously high. And it was like, we're from Arizona and we went to a humid ass Texas and we're doing this ruck march, and it basically like our bodies aren't used to regulating temperature in humidity, and we're wearing full suits of cloth with a backpack on in the sun, and he just went down, and by the time I got to the hospital, his body temperature was still so hot, so they actually stuck one in there. Didn't help out. They stuck another one in there, not at the same time, but yeah.
I've never seen one up close. How big are they?
He said I don't know. I don't know exactly how big.
He was like, I couldn't tell by feel.
He said he didn't even see it. He said he was like facing that way, and then laying on his stomach, and then they fucking stuck it right up there.
All right, so Demitry is wrong. It's not the heat that makes you lose weight. It's the heart rate that makes you hot, that makes you lose weight. If you follow Demitry's instructions, you're gonna get a silver bullet. So
well, this is what it is. If you're in 65 or less degree temperature for more than, I forgot if it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes, then you start to have an impact in your metabolism.
You know what is annoying about that, actually, now I'm thinking about it? I think someone like an NCO told me that once.
Yeah.
I think he's just like, it's hot, you're burning calories. I was like, okay.
Well, I hear so many clients say that, and they're like, oh, but it's summer, I'm about to lose weight because it's hot out. I'm like,
it just sounds right.
Yeah.
And that brings us full circle to like, no one's perfect, Demitry. But a lot of those with like the metabolism stuff, like it starts from the beginning. It's like, can you change your metabolism? There's like a lot of myths around it, and it's super easy to get caught in like the pseudoscience of how to lose weight, the things that are limiting you. I'm not fat, I'm big boned. No, we all have the same type of skeleton. There's so many things that are maybe half true or completely untrue, but the easy things are, if you're big, you need to eat less.
Yeah.
In a way, and when we say eat less, we mean less calories. If you're small, you need to eat more calories.
More digestible foods.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if you want to get yourself into a starvation mode, you're going to need to do something drastic.
Yeah, and well, basically for that they do too much of everything. It's like do a little bit of both, not all of everything.
Exactly. And I think we can wrap this up on saying, unfortunately, weight loss is always going to be way simpler than people want to believe it is. They want to believe that there's some kind of either a secret mysticism that, because if you thought that there was an easy way to just like drop weight, you think that wouldn't have made it to YouTube already? There's no way someone's like, oh, I have all the secrets. Like, someone would go there, they'd pay the way too much money. Like, okay, well, I went and paid $100,000 to find out how to lose this weight, and then they would immediately go back and be like, cool, this is how he did it, guys.
They'd be the most famous person on YouTube.
Exactly. You know? David Goggins is always a great example of that. It's like he's just like, how do you do so great? He's just like, I just don't stop. I just keep going. And it's just like, yeah, I don't like that answer. That answer bums me out.
Yeah, it's because it's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something easy and, more doable, or like a hack, when there are very minor hacks that you can do, but the real answer is consistency and, persistence. That's the real answer.
And I will also say, as a note, there are things in life that are going to make it harder for other people. Like, I find out I have a bum thyroid. That makes losing weight harder for me. Yeah. Does that mean I'm going to change anything I do about trying to make my goals and all this stuff? No, it just means like now I'm like, oh, cool, I'm on meds now, and like now I know that like I just have to like pay attention to that. Other people are like really skinny for either some kind of genetic reason or because of some kind of a disease they may have, and they are going to have a harder time gaining weight.
Right.
Like sometimes the roll of the dice that we've talked about before, like there are people, not everyone can be an Instagram model.
Right.
Even if you went to your perfect body, it might just be like you're freaking just kind of out of luck on that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can't be like the top tier of your version.
Yeah, you just got to compete with yourself, basically, run your own race. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So, do you have anything else to say about metabolism?
No, I think we got it.
Cool.
I'm very excited for the intuitive eating.
Yeah. Well, actually,
that's going to be one coming up, guys.
Next one, we have an interview. We're going to do the intuitive eating. That one should be really fun.
Yeah.
It will
definitely piss some people off. I can't wait.
It might be upsetting, but it'll definitely be better than 2 silver bullets. As always, you can find us at BNS_radio on Instagram and YouTube. If you're not watching YouTube videos, please do like, subscribe, hit that ding ding, and we appreciate you coming.
Thanks for stopping by.
That bell.
Toronto.
I like having headphones.
The headphones is a little